Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Premier League Draft Update. So, we're already at week 2, and I will get to an explanation why I missed week 1 later. But hello everyone, hope you're all well this week. Thank you for joining the draft, and hope you enjoyed the process. This is the second year that we've done the draft. Last year was quite successful, which saw Max Lee sort of comfortably come up on top. I tried to go all the way with him, but most people I think gave up long before the final weeks of the season. Now again with the draft, I think everyone knows the rules as we've picked the players, so I'm not going to explain it. But obviously we chose head to head, so then we can have a more fairer system hopefully, so you don't always have to be the best team in the week. So with my updates, I'd like them to be regular, on time, and in detail. But sometimes life doesn't work like that, and so I'm going to keep these updates they're going to be unorthodox. I might miss the odd one or two, but I'll try and catch up where I can, as we will be doing from the start. So I'm testing something out as well, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing on screen as well. So yeah, let's get started. Welcome to If You Snooze, You Lose. Bit of a change up from We All Love Jumba Jumba from last year. As we didn't do week 1, let's go through the names. Let's see if I can zoom in. So, we have Max Lee, who won last time, current champion. That came in with Victor Moses Garden. Very religious reference there. We got Nathaniel King with Fear the Beard. Obviously, if you didn't know Nate, he has a beard. We got Jack with Enter Shaqiri, which is quite a nice Shakira reference, I think, from one of her songs. He did have one about Chalaba. I don't know if he can let me know which one that was, but he decided to change. We've got Lee Shelton with Forgetful 11, as most of us do forget quite a lot. My team, which is Winning the Lot. I had another name, but it got ruined by a fellow member, so I changed it to the new wing back at United, who we probably won't see for a while. We've got a classic from Kane with Giroud Sandstorm. Then Joe Nash's with Who Ate All the Pie, which is slightly outdated now, Joe, as he's not even in the Premier League, but we'll just leave it there. And then it sort of gets a bit nasty after this. So we got Liam Nichols with AFC Pornmouth, or Pornmouth. I don't know why, when you put those words together, it just sounds so much worse. Pornmouth. And then we got Max's where Your or Unts United. Really creative guys. Then we got Luke Cameron's at Christian Bukaki. And then the person who stole my name, which was Aaron, with It's Coming Home, in reference to England's heroics in the summer. And then we got Dale, who's helping out, just being an extra man, with the classic Fats D's Army. So I'll just go to, hopefully, the results from week 1. Let's have a look. So the results from week 1 were as follows. Just keep it short and quick with this update, with the week 1 updates. Oh, my screen doesn't seem to like this, so there we go. So we're going to just have a look quick. What did I want to have a look? So I think the biggest Obviously, the winner of the week with the highest score was Max Lee. Yeah. Victor Moses guarded with 68 points. And obviously Luke would have probably beaten most teams that week with quite a decent 46, but couldn't match the top scorer of the week. The biggest loser of the week was Kane with a measly 16 points. He struggled quite a lot with his team there. And I think the other winners included Nate, Lee, and Jack, and obviously Nichols with Kane. So that was quite a good week. Let me just have a look. I don't think I've got anything else on here. I think the best player was Pereira of Watford, and I'm pretty sure Jack had him. So let me just have a look. Yes, he did, and he scored a total of 16 points. Oh, there we go. So he scored a total of 16 points and got the crucial one that you want when you're head to head is the bonus points. He got all 3. But yeah, he also scored the 2 goals. I'm trying to think which one. I think the second one was that volley. Or the first one was quite a decent volley. If you haven't checked it out, I'll maybe try and put the clip in here from Twitter. Right, so let's get to week 2. And let's get into week 2 proper. Okay, so let's start off with Nichols versus Jack. There's a total 2 points difference. I think it was the closest game of the week, with Jack edging out with 36 to Nichols' 34. Let's just have a look. His biggest players included Salah. Oh no, for Jack it was Richarlison with 9 points. And then he had the consistency of having 3 players with 6 points, which were Van Dijk, Morata and Gray. And obviously Richarlison coming out this week and saying he wants to be top scorer in the Premier League and help Everton back to the Champions League. So some big talk from the Everton player there. Let's just have a look. Gray's finish as well from Deeney's setup. That was quite nice at Burnley. First time volley. And Jack has actually profited from Company and Pereira coming in from subs. I won't show Liam's team, but he came unlucky. He had Salah, who had 9 points, but I think he had several other players not playing, and so that came at a cost. So the next matchup was myself versus Kane. As you can see, if we'd both played anyone else this week, we would have won, as we were both Kane was the highest scorer in the week, which is very typical, and there was a 4 points difference in this game. So we'll just have a look at Kane's team. So let me zoom out. As you can see, Trippier, he had several high scorers. So you got Trippier with his 11 points, and he helped Tottenham to a 3-1 win with his set piece, his free kick, and obviously gained the 3 bonus points as well, with that free kick sort of bringing in some of the love from the World Cup that we saw. We got Gross for Brighton, who obviously scored a penalty, and we got David Silva, who got 9 points as well, replacing De Bruyne because of his injury. But the biggest annoyance for me was Maddison. I lost Maddison in the transfer waiver, in the transactions, because I won the week previously, and he went and scored, and that meant because he scored, he got 9 points, and those 9 points could have been on my team. So that was a little bit frustrating, and I don't probably sound it now, but I was raging at the time. So I won't show you my team because it's just even more annoying, but I had Aguero who had 20 points, Mendy who had 8, Lucas with 7, and if I'd brought my sub goalkeeper on, the Newcastle goalkeeper, what's his name? Let's get it up. Dubravka, I would have had 6 points added to my score. So that was a little bit annoying. We would have probably drawn in that then because I would have had 4 points difference. And that would have made it a little bit easier, at least drawing. But there we go. Let's go back to the third game of week 2. And it was the Maxes. It was Max Wilkie versus Max Lee. Let's see if I can get these scores up nice and neatly. So we had Max Wilkie versus Max Lee, and there was a 4 points difference here as well. Max Lee coming on top, just edging it as he usually does, with 43 to Max Wilkie's 39. Let's have a look at the winners team here. So as you can see, Mkhitaryan was his highest scorer with 12 points. He obviously helped with the start of the comeback in the first half against Chelsea for Arsenal, but obviously Arsenal would obviously end up losing out. And he got the assist as well for Roby's goal. Because it was from the I forgot about that. And then you've got Pedro with 8 points, who also scored in that game. And you've got Fraser, who got 6 points, because I think he got an assist in the Bournemouth game. I think it was his clip to Steve Cook at the back post that helped Bournemouth win that game against West Ham. So, yeah, not massive numbers out of the rest of the line, but that 12 sort of, I think was the biggest difference, because I think with Max Wilkie's team he had Tarkowski, who also scored in the week and got 7 points. He had Arnautovic with 8 points because he scored the penalty for West Ham against Bournemouth. And then we had Sadio Mane with 10 points from Liverpool's game against Crystal Palace on Monday. But sadly that was not enough for Max Wilkie this week. Let's get to... Oh, and also Wilkie had Vardy sent off as well. So our first sending off of the season in terms of any of our players involved. So he obviously got a -1 on that one, but I don't think it made too much difference. And he was Jamie Vardy was the worst player of the week as well. Let's have a look. The next match we have is Joe versus Dale. And I think this was the highest difference of the week. Dale lost out by 24 points. I know Dale doesn't always keep too much concentration on this, so he will probably be a free hit every week, but we'll see. So Joe had Walcott, who scored, gaining 13 points. If you haven't seen it already as well, he's been turned into an angry bird, which is to everyone's amusement, probably himself as well. We had Harry Kane end his August hoodoo with Tottenham's third goal against Fulham. And then we had Edison. I wanted just to note, I don't normally note people who have, because otherwise you end up noting everyone who had 5 points, but I just wanted to note Edison's contribution in Man City's win with that assist, which you don't see too much with goalkeepers, and it was a pinpoint goal kick to Aguero. I'm not quite sure. If you haven't seen that already, I'll try and find a short clip as well. But it was quite something. So then we've got, and then the highest scorer for Dale was Mooney of Huddersfield with 5 points. Let's get on to Luke Cameron versus Lee. I also want to know if any of you guys want to add something to this, whether it's a video clip of yourself, or an audio clip or anything otherwise, just send it to me and I'll add it to the weekly update. Whether it's a raging clip of something or you want to talk some trash talk ahead of the game or after the games, let me know. So let's have a look at, which I get to, it was Luke versus Lee. Lee came out quite ahead of Luke in this one with a 15-point difference with a score of 40. Now let's have a look at the winning team here. So his biggest hitters were Alonso with 13 points because he obviously scored the winner for Chelsea and got an assist. We had Pogba who scored the late penalty. He got 8 points in the last week with 1 bonus. And Lukaku similarly with 2 bonus and his goal scored. And I wanted to note Murray as well, his contribution of 5. Because he obviously scored that wonderful flick at the front post for Brighton. And I think for Luke, his high score was Robertson with 7 points. So, I think this might be the last game. We have Nate versus Aaron. Let's have a look. So, there is a difference here of 8 points. Nate coming on top with 30. Let's just have a look at this one. So his does it want to play nice? I think someone else had some issues with someone on. Oh no, yeah, this is the one. I thought this was right. So I'll just start with Nate first. He had Wilson with 6 points, Allison with 6 points, Alexander Arnold with 5. So they're not massive numbers, but they're enough once you've got a couple of them. I wanted to note Wilson as well. His goal, his solo effort for Bournemouth. If you haven't seen it, I'll try and find a clip. If not, check it out because it was quite something against West Ham. And a player who's very injury prone, so it's a risk to take in fantasy, but he is a goal scorer. And then, as you can see, painfully, it's so painful. Nate has left 18 points on the bench, with Mitrovic's 6 and Pereira's 12. This will let me get him, as he got the bonus points against Wolves. And that's quite a hefty. It doesn't mean too much on a weekday because obviously, as long as you win, that's 3 points on the league. But I think if it comes to later on in the season and we've got people tying for points, then these points do become crucial. So yes, and I think Aaron's highest points was with Jesus, and he had 7. So that is the week Fantasy Premier League draft update, week 2, and included week 1. Let's just have a look at the table. So Max stays top with 6 points, scoring 111 in total. We've got Nate second with 94, and in third place we've got Jack Stewart, scoring 6 points with 89 points so far. So thank you for listening. I might try and do more videos and sort of do a vlog next time, but we'll see how it goes. As I said at the start of this update, it's going to be inconsistent. It's going to be random, and if you want to add anything, let me know. I'm not going to keep a constant structure because I swear every time I try to plan something for this update, it never works out. So I've tried to keep it as simple as possible this week, in a hope that we can actually get an update. And then when I get more time, I'll try and do something a little bit more interesting. So in the If You Snooze, You Lose League draft fixtures for game week 3, we have Dale versus me, we have Lee versus Aaron, Max versus Nate, Jack versus Joe, Kane versus Luke, and Liam Nichols versus Max. So I'm trying to think which is the most. I think the closest game of the week will be Kane versus Luke, I think. But that's sort of a punt. I think just because of the way the two teams I think Nichols and Max might be quite close as well. But I think Max seems to just get ahead every week, so he'll probably go full ahead. Even though I'm going up against Dale, you never know what can happen in the week. But it should be a comfortable win for me. And then we got Lee and Aaron. If you're looking on last week's performance, Lee should comfortably win, but Aaron has been known to get a decent amount of points in the first week. So we'll have to see. Thank you for watching / listening, and I'll see you guys all next week.